Hey guys, what's going on? How's everyone doing? Just gonna bring something up and get right into it. I'm going to game view. I got a little interview set up. I'm just gonna do an hour before bed, but I'm just trying to establish a little bit of consistency, so I wanted to hop on and do something. So I'm gonna do some Vorkath kills. The reason I like doing this on stream is, like, what if I get the fucking pet? Like, and I wasn't recording. Everyone needs to see this stuff, so I want to do it on stream, even if it's late. It's all good. Testing. That sounds good. Gonna get right back into this.
Like guys that are like those fucking, you know what I'm saying? Those fucking spunk garglers, dude. Them dudes go deep, bro.
Yeah, Will Blunderfield is his name.
Oh, okay, Will.
He's kind of the commander-in-chief of the Jizz Wizards,
and that's a new movement, really, of men. Did you see that just as a like an out there group, or do you see that as an example of men trying to find different ways to regain masculinity?
I think that Will's specific demographic is dudes who would be traditionally called gay by society.
Okay.
Trying to become bisexual to a certain extent.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Because he's talking about how, when he does same-sex erotic bonding in the forest with his bros, it kind of makes him have a procreative urge. So I think to a certain degree, I think the manosphere has definitely taken over, like a lot of the surface net.
What is the manosphere?
Just like Andrew Tate type people, just like like alpha men's wellness, self-help dudes, But I think that Will's a bit different because it's more on like the spiritual side, and it's more connected to like eating well and all that type of shit, cutting like glyphosate and atrazine out of your diet to like have your chakras align and like reach the new dimension and like breath work. And I feel like he's more on that too. But then again, I feel like 2020 and COVID created this insane fusion with like the wellness community and like pretty hard right people because of the anti-vax thing.
Oh, interesting.
So like half of the, like yogis and like holistic community wellness people became like fully QAnon pilled in 2020.
Wow.
Like I remember I'm not going to say her name, but this lady who invented butthole sunning or perineum sunning.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about that.
Yeah, so it was super like kind of cool, hippie, like free thinker, believes in the sun god, thinks the sun god speaks to your soul through your anus. Rays come in, get into your body. That's God, divine energy. I hadn't talked to her in like 6 months. I checked back on her Instagram, and this is real shit. It's George Floyd and then like a lizard person cropped over each other. And she was like, don't believe everything you see on TV. And like, it's just crazy to see like that happening to someone like that. And now it's all just like the storm is coming, like crazy ass, like fringe shit. Like JFK Jr. is still alive.
Oh, wow.
Like, yeah.
He's not.
But him being alive is central to the QAnon.
Oh, I see that. You're just saying that it gets in that drain.
They were waiting at the grassy knoll in Dallas like 4 months ago for his return.
No way.
Yeah, and like it's kind of like Bigfoot hunting style, where like one guy says that he saw it when everyone looked away, and so I met a guy who was like, I saw him, and everyone's like, no, you didn't. Like they almost were having some infighting. He's like, no, dude, I saw him.
So you were down there when that happened?
No, but I talked to a bunch of the people who were there at the People's Convoy, which is like a trucker protest right after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm pretty deep in that little world.
Yeah, we've had Bobby Kennedy on here before, so he was big. He's a environmentalist, So it makes sense that he would be, he was always about like taking care of nature. So then it makes sense that he would that his interest would lead to taking care of the nature inside of your body, like the waterways inside of your body and that sort of thing. So he's been a big like, I wouldn't call him I don't know if he was he wasn't anti-COVID, but I think he was an anti-vax, or making sure that vaccinations are tested correctly.
Yeah.
Because in my town, I grew up in Covington, Louisiana, and they were making a polio vaccine in
I couldn't
our
change
town
these lights around for a long time.
in like the
but now
60s
they're
or something, whenever they
purple.
put it out, or maybe
These are
I think the 60s
purple.
or 70s.
The whole vibe is real purpled out now.
and
I like
they
purple.
that's where they created the polio vaccine at, and they used to test it on monkeys. Well, the polio vaccine ended up giving cervical cancer to millions of women, but they'd already made it, and they were just like,
Yeah.
fuck it, we already bought it, right? Like
Yeah.
we already
The deal sealed.
yeah, this is what we got. So it helped polio, but there was a high risk for
My
cervical
prayers
cancer.
aren't set.
So I think some people, it also depends on, I think, where some people's mindsets come out of.
Yeah.
I was dumb, but
Do you now, like I know you just went and interviewed Alex Jones and had to sit down with Alex Jones.
Yeah.
What was that kind of like? Do you think the guy was absolutely crazy? Do you think he was overwhelmed by the lawsuit at this point? Or do you feel like he's on point with some stuff and he's just too loud for the world these days? Like,
I don't know. It's such a tough one because I do see both angles of it. You know what I mean? And I had a lot of heat from a lot of my fans for even talking to him. I mean, the $1 billion verdict, he probably has between $2 and $3 million. And in InfoWars or Free Speech Systems is filing for bankruptcy. So he's not going to, the Sandy Hook families aren't going to see that money.
right.
But I guess it's a precedent in the future where it's like because he was really coming after the parents as well.
Right.
You know, like he put one of the parents' addresses up. I mean,
It's egregious. I mean, it's egregious when somebody and I can't imagine when you go through something like that.
Yeah.
And there's this voice that gets loud.
yeah, but I'm reading this book called Sandy Hook by Elizabeth Williamson, and like some of the dudes that Alex was like platforming on his shit. I hate saying platforming, but like this dude Wolfgang Helbig, and there's people who like were writing like 4,000 emails a day to the Sandy Hook families, like type shit, like harassing them, stalking them, leaving messages saying they're gonna kill them, accusing them of keeping their kids alive as sex slaves in the attic and shit. Horrible stuff. So it wasn't a lot of people. It's not just about Alex. It's just some
Right.
of
It's
the
about
people.
the ripple effect.
Yeah, because there's a whole community of lost people who devote their whole life to harassing the victims' families of the Colorado Aurora shooting, of Sandy Hook, of Uvalde. Like,
For the
it's a whole
biscuit.
community of crisis actor followers, like false flag people.
Have you been able to meet any of those types of folks, even just to see, like, because I think one thing that's really interesting that you do, and I really like seeing it, man, is that you kind of you go and just kind of listen to people. It's like, hey, here's what's going on. And I think it's really powerful, even as you say, like some of your followers or supporters, like, oh, why would you even give this guy space? But people would say that too
I mean,
about
use too many
having Bobby
resources,
Kennedy
yeah.
on here. It's like,
Yeah.
why would you give this guy
216.
space? Like, he's a human being. He's, first of all, one of
Yeah.
the smartest guys that I know.
Yeah.
Like, really interesting and amazing friend.
Yeah.
So it's like I wouldn't not trust him. Like, why wouldn't I listen and hear what his thoughts are and
Yeah.
what's going on?
I just think like the more liberal audience is like super into deplatforming, and they think that like giving someone giving a problematic person a platform is somehow supporting them. And I always refute that like this: if it's a lesser known shitty person that I'm cherry picking to kind of dunk on, that's fucked up. You know, if I bring some white nationalist from the cuts of Alabama on my show just to like grill him and make him look stupid,
Right.
I am inadvertently growing his audience by bringing him on. Because
Okay.
the people who watch my shit, and even if they agree with me, his name is now out there. I've elevated his name to the top. And so people will know his name, they'll go to his website, you kind of increase traffic for that person,
Right.
and you create future white nationalists. And vice versa. But like Alex Jones, everybody knows who that is. He's a household name. The Proud Boys, everybody knows who that is. So when I'm interviewing people like that most of my audience doesn't like, I am not increasing their fame or increasing their exposure, because with or without me, everyone's gonna know who those people are.
Right.
Alex
You got a
Jones is on
pretty
the front
intricate
page
way
the
of
New York
thinking
Times.
about this stuff.
The Proud
I like
Boys are
that.
being investigated by the FBI for January 6th. So me interviewing them, I'm not platforming or increasing their audience at all. But if I was to interview like more lesser known, fringe people, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, like if you were to interview like Whitey Killer 1200, or you
Yeah.
were to interview like Slave Buyer 55,
Exactly.
then you would be,
Exactly.
yeah.
But mainstream media, like liberal media, does that shit. They find like the dumbest person they can, and they're like inside the Ku Klux Klan, and it's and it's like some like 300-pound like CSI Miami watcher sitting in his chair. He's like, "White people, We're just better at stuff, man. And like,
Yeah, dude.
and the journalist is like, "What do you mean by that? How can you say something like that?" He was like, "I'm not doing that shit, man."
Yeah, it's interesting. And it's like people. Why do people get so stuck in their own like? Why can't people just let somebody else have a different belief, like a different politician? How did that get so crazy from your perception?
I don't know, but I think that how all the late night TV shows and how SNL just became like orange man bashing machines.
Yeah.
I mean, you fucking turn on Colbert or
That's two
Jimmy
of
Kimmel or
them.
something. It's literally like every other night is like an anti-Trump monologue.
It was horrible. They ruined their shows, I think.
They're still doing it.
It's crazy though. It seems like bad. Why? It's like
Right.
you could just
We
say,
know.
"Hey, this is who I support or don't
Yeah.
support."
Yeah, I think the incentive is there. It's the
Totally.
safest thing you could do. You know, in
Fuck
comedy.
all that.
in that realm
Television.
is to just bash a conservative president. And I don't support Trump, but it's like I don't want to
Entertainment.
go on late night TV and
Watch
watch a
Drake
rich
play
guy
RuneScape.
talk
That's
shit about another rich guy.
entertaining.
I know.
You know what I mean? I'm just like, this is just the same shit, and I think that has something to do with it.
This is 3 kills in one.
Because if you think about it, right,
one
like
run. We don't ever
those
get
shows
three
reach
of
everybody. They're on cable, so you can be sitting in the middle of a red state, and you go on cable, and you go to Comedy Central, ABC, late night, and that's what you're seeing is your supposed
Welcome,
hero
by the way.
being shit on by
My guy.
the comedic elite of late night TV in Los Angeles or New York.
Right.
So,
And that they're
my
all
girl.
on the same page. None of them have any
Yeah.
different view or not even a lot of like variation in their own views.
Yes. But like, so the real OGs like Jon Stewart, like they've held it down. That to me, that's like the best.
Yeah.
Or, like early Daily Show. To me, that was like during the Bush era. That was like this absolute sweet spot of like comedic late night political shit.
Yeah, and Bush also they kind of made like it was different with Trump. People, I mean, Hollywood
Want
just
that
decided
Pat, want
they
that Pat.
fuck their
Yeah.
either we don't have enough ownership over this guy or he's too much of a loose cannon, whatever it is, but that not a chance or everybody's gonna hate this dude.
Yeah.
And then everybody works with Hollywood, so they have no choice.
Yeah.
That's who pays their bills.
Yeah. It's also hard to satirize a guy who doesn't give a fuck about what anyone thinks.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, you think he gives a shit? He just likes the attention from it,
Right. I think that's really interesting too. But I think that turned off a lot of people, even if people like
25.
weren't that political. It was just like, well, why are you so
It's a big
one
head burner,
sided?
crowd up.
Like,
Yeah.
what do you have in this?
Yeah. And there's real venom in some of those monologues, dude.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
You're like, Jesus Christ, this is like mean spirited almost, man.
That on both
Oh
sides.
yeah, I thought that I think it ruined Hollywood for a lot of people. It's like it made a lot of
Yeah.
people think like, well, obviously this is a group that doesn't support me.
Yeah. Do you think that your move to Nashville was like a little bit inspired by that stuff?
Diamond Balls hit hard compared
well,
to
I
the
wanted
Rubies,
to honestly save money,
but the Rubies proc.
and
So
everybody
we use
went to
Rubies.
Austin,
Not a fan of the
and I never
technique. I
wanted to
wish
be
we
like
had the
everybody
switch.
else,
Yeah.
and everybody did it. You know, Joe Rogan moved there, and Tim Dillon went there, and Tom Segura, and I think I always wanted to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
You know, I was scared that if I don't know, I want to go look at Austin now. I'm going to go check it
Yeah,
out
yeah.
for a month and see. And then Nashville, I don't know. I think there's
Got a good feeling about
there's
this one.
something really nice
About to
about
get that
it.
pet drop.
It's just a lot of nice folks.
You've been liking it?
Yeah, I think it's nice. I think there's a lot of there's just a lot of nice people there. Like I have like the nicest neighbors I've ever had.
Yeah.
It gives me a little bit of a different idea of what's
Go on.
of what the America's still like, kind of,
Almost.
That's nice.
Does it feel southern to you?
Yeah,
Risk
it
it.
does. Sometimes I would
Dude,
never
that's
was like
3 in 1
redneck
trip.
growing up. Like our
Big
family
head
didn't have
drop.
any money. We were just poor white.
Yeah.
Ah, Raft
So we
House,
were
man.
like, like we didn't have a boat or any.
Yeah.
We didn't
I
have
made a
like
lot of money on
flag that we
forecast. I'm at
supported. We
35
didn't
mil
have.
total so far.
My father was from Nicaragua. He was 70 years old when I was born. My mother was from Illinois and was making love to a poor old man.
Yeah.
Who's having sex with a 7-year-old with no money?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's a bad deal.
I think no matter who you are,
Yeah, no, it's not good.
it's like it just seems like a poor business choice, you know?
Man, that's a shitty age to have no money.
I know, yeah, and it's just like anyway. So yeah, I think What are some things that I like about it? It's nice for touring too. We can take tour buses right out of there.
Yeah.
And it's one of the last southern cities that still feels kind of like I don't know. It has like a new rebirth.
Yeah.
Like I've gone to a lot of these cities, like Montgomery,
Jackson, you been there?
even Savannah during the daytime downtown, kind of like Jackson.
Yeah. Charleston and
Charleston's
Jackson.
popping.
Birmingham's pretty good too.
Yeah, Birmingham I hear is pretty good. I haven't been really spent time there in the city, but there's a lot of southern cities, Columbus, Georgia, that are just like ghost towns.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially Mississippi.
Oh,
OG,
Mississippi is a
Brown,
really
thank you,
ghost state.
brother. Follow.
Like the north part of it, like the Delta. It's
Yeah.
Like shelled out towns.
It's gotten really bad, man. Yeah, Mississippi's just crazy, man. A really bad branding happened, I think, with a lot of like a lot of the South was based on, even a lot of the tourism was based on tradition, like war battlefields and antebellum homes,
Yeah.
things like that. That I think white people didn't realize maybe as much at that black culture didn't have like. Or maybe it angered them. I don't know. I think a
Yeah.
lot of that kind of came out during BLM when a lot of like statues were being torn down and
Yeah.
like, you know. So I think the South also is in a little bit of a space where it's like, well, I don't think I was grasping onto the history there because it was racist. I just thought it was the history, like Robert E. Lee. That was the statue. Like,
Yeah.
you know, we would all meet up there at Mardi Gras. I don't think half of us knew what the fuck he did.
Yeah.
You know.
Cornell.
But I
Sailor
think
Mooney.
so. A lot of the tradition there feels like it's been
Big shout out.
stirred,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of people down there don't really know what to do in some southern places right now.
Yeah.
You know?
I wonder when they're gonna start landmarking like hip hop achievements and shit. Like when I was in Clarksdale in Yazoo City in the Delta, and everything is like
It's incredible.
the
Thank
Delta
you guys
Blues
so much
Trail. Like
for
here's where
everything.
Lightning Hopkins like grew up, and I'm
Yeah,
like, what
yeah.
about Lil Wayne?
Yeah.
Like at what point are we gonna start like marking
It's a
Lil
good
Wayne's
point.
house in Holly Grove and shit? Because like that stuff really changed the world in a similar way that blues did. You know,
Yeah.
if not even a bigger impact. But like
I'm amazed they haven't done
yeah.
that.
I think about it all the time. Like Hip Hop Heritage Trail, it's gonna happen eventually. We're gonna be tripping, bro. We're gonna be like 90 years old, and they're like in the third ward. They're gonna be like, here stood the Magnolia Projects, where Soulja Slim and Master P and C Murder came out with their first No Limit Records album. We're gonna be like, what the fuck? But it has to happen, right?
Well, it almost seems like it's behind schedule, especially since they've gone through so many of those projects and stuff over the years and had to tear them down or refurbish. You think somebody would have said, hey, let's just take this building and make some money for the city, you know?
Especially, yeah, they should have preserved like one of the old Magnolia buildings.
Oh, yeah, Big Boy, where Juvenile grew up.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the backdrop to like the birth of fucking Southern rap music.
Dude, I would go there in a heartbeat because it's so funny because I've gone to the ones where like Elvis was born.
Yeah.
And you'll see signs like Muddy
Party
Gussie
on, guy.
grew up here. Like people you don't even know anymore.
Yeah.
But if they had like Big Boy, like if they had a lot of different ones along that trail.
It's one of those classic things of like, who's really going to campaign on that though? It's like in Seattle, you can't drink in strip clubs.
It's cool. It lights that
What
mask up.
congressman is going to be like, I'm going to make this my issue?
I like that.
You know what I mean?
But I think these days, you make that small pinpoint issue, that catapults you from being some Muppet with like
Some
or you know, just somebody to being like all you need is that one.
Yeah.
And then you're in the game. As long you gotta have some backup plans.
Yeah, for sure.
But dude, I can't believe that they have strip clubs where you can't drink it. Like this, like but the strippers are all on pill. They can fucking do pills.
But I can't drink a goddamn White Claw. I thought this was America. No, I feel you. My dad works next to a strip club. My dad works at a bar connected to a strip club.
Yeah.
And so it's always like bar, strip club, back to bar, back to strip club. It's like, just tear the wall down. Man. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, we went to a strip club once in Virginia. We were touring a couple of months ago.
over
and
there, bro.
They're like, Edgar Allan Poe used to own this.
A strip club?
Yeah. His I think it's Edgar Allan Poe. Is he from Virginia?
No, Edgar Allan Poe's from Baltimore.
Okay, well, at one point he lived, I guess, in Virginia, and he like lived there for a while or something. Yeah. Like, oh, he used to live here. It's like
Good
a historic
poet.
building.
Yeah.
But then part of it was a strip club. It's pretty cool.
Wow, I didn't even know Edgar Allan Poe got down like that.
I think he got down the coast a little bit and went looking for a little bit of puss.
Yeah, he
you
had a
know?
twisted mind.
Oh, he had to, dude.
So it must have been a twisted strip club.
Dude, he was like one of the first BLM activists. Look at the fucking the Raven or whatever.
Was that about race?
It was about black birds, dog.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty good anti-racist novel.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When everybody's writing about red robins and you start rocking about the raven.
So was he like? Were authors like rappers back then? Like you think if he went to the strip club, everyone was like, "Oh shit, it's Edgar," and he's like making it rain, or what was the strip club like before that kind of music?
Oh, I don't know,
Violin. I just can't envision like
Yeah, just that slow.
with no future. Like, what does a strip club look like? The artist future.
Right, yeah, 100%. I don't know. That's a great question. A hunting we will go, maybe a hunt, just like maybe
Yeah.
somebody singing stuff like that.
Like folksy accordion.
Yeah,
One.
You ever been to the Claremont Lounge in Atlanta?
yeah.
It's a good one.
It is a good one.
It was Bourdain's favorite spot.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to have that old, an
Take
older
Five.
lady in there, and she'd
Delicious.
get those beer cans for you.
Yeah.
In there, good place to watch people do coke that shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, for sure. What's weird for me in strip clubs is I only like them if they're like super novelty. You know? 'Cause
Yeah.
I like it in like an atmosphere sense, like Sopranos, Bada Bing style, just like the lighting and like just degenerate people. I like to watch the people at strip clubs.
Yeah, more of a burlesque style or something.
No, I mean like I like to look at the dudes who are watching strippers more than the strippers
Oh wow.
because it's so interesting.
Yeah, there's something about somebody being right there to like. It's almost like a sense of like, I don't know. I guess some people go probably for desperation.
Yeah, they have just like this weird like slack jaw and like a permanently half full whiskey neat Jameson glass, and they're just like absolutely mesmerized with like, this wet stack of ones because their palm is sweating, the ring in their back pocket, just like nothing in front of them, nothing behind them, just in the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's some feeling right there, huh?
Yeah, because they must know that the girls don't actually like them.
Yeah, so I guess a lot of it is the myth of it.
Maybe it's they want to feel like a rock star, like Nickelback style.
Yeah.
Like they're at a strip club by them. But I mean, imagine going to a strip club by yourself, ordering a Jameson and smoking a cigar. Like
Yeah.
that idyllic, like it's like some Hemingway shit. It's like,
Yeah.
like this is me. I do this. This isn't weird at all. This is cool. This is what rock stars do.
Yeah.
You know?
But then the women are all pilled up. It's not even this like exchange of emotion anymore. It's just two people sharing each other, hoping one of them has a perk on them. You know.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like. It's almost like playing perk chess with their eyes.
Yeah. I've never even taken a prescription pill before.
You know, just playing just with that 120 milligram stare.
How does that make you feel, Percocet? Like,
I don't know. I took 2 somas one time and actually drove off a road on accident, and my buddy, I think, R.I.P., tried to give me a BJ or something. I don't even remember fully, but I wouldn't take them.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
I just have friends who take them. I've just had a friend take them. I looked at them like, well, how are you feeling? Crazy.
I think it disconnects you from any senses that you have anything wrong.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong, man.
It's not a good thing.
No, you're made out of marshmallows and fucking homemade pussy, dude. I think you have everything just perfect, you know?
I wanted to ask you, so what happened to the King and the Sting podcast? It's no longer?
The King and the Sting podcast. Yeah, the podcast is still going. I'm just not. I'm not doing it.
Cool. You and Brandon are cool though, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we just honestly, man, I didn't have enough attention really to focus.
Yeah.
Like I like my own podcast, and we have a unique kind of audience, I think.
Yeah.
And I think I wanted to be able to. I feel a lot more in touch with this now.
Yeah.
Like it's important to me.
Yeah.
And it was still important, but it was just a lot to try and juggle.
Yeah. I liked the Gringo Poppy actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I think people give Brennan so much flack, and I think that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons I admire him in some ways.
Yeah.
Is how you could withstand so much disdain from people, or fake disdain.
Yeah. It's pretty psychotic.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It goes back to the people you were talking about.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's kind of why I stopped. Like, I still have Instagram and stuff. I just don't go on it. Because, like, when you run that, when you're like a major public figure, whatever, a big media figure, like, if someone comments on your shit, you're amazing. At its best, that's an ego boost, unhealthy ego boost. And if someone says you suck, then that's an anxiety spike.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, once you've kind of passed that threshold of like validation from the public, it's nothing but bad for your mind. Because this little box in your pocket, it's like, oh, you're the shit, man. You're the best journalist. I'm walking around by myself, getting endorphins from that, which is not natural. It should be like, you know, touching trees, playing tennis with my mom. But instead, it's like, and then if that box is like, fuck you, man, you're a libtard, you're a sellout or something, I'm like, oh, man, I feel bad about myself.
Yeah.
So there's no healthy like middle ground, I don't think, for me at least. I'm too sensitive.
Man, I'm too sensitive to
That's
it
wild.
too, and I still let it affect. You know, I let it affect me a
I
lot of times. Or I
also
notice,
would.
like you're saying, to have some wherewithal that I
think
go
about
there
it.
for certain things. Did you just kind of pick that up, or did you always know
I
it, or
just
did you
prefer for us to
did you
get
kind of
along.
like did you notice that happening?
No,
Yeah,
like
this isn't
active.
good.
I stopped going on Instagram 1 month ago
Friction.
Wow.
because I was just like, damn, dude, like every day I wake up, it's the first thing I check. I say, what are people saying about me today? Like,
Yeah, am I still okay?
oh yeah, or like, am I still okay? Do my fans still fuck with me? Like, did they like the video I just dropped? You know what I mean? Like,
Right? Did something come out in the middle of the night of me picking my nose or something, and
Yeah.
now I can't go anywhere?
or just like, you know, like how are my stats doing? Or but even more specifically, like it started actually when I dropped the Alex Jones interview. And everyone was like, why would you platform? Why would you platform? And then other people were like, you're a fucking G for giving this guy a voice. And I was just like, I can't deal with this. I just want to like make cool stuff. And I still check YouTube comments and stuff like that, but I'm not trying to like be constantly engaged in my own feedback loop. It's so unhealthy, dude.
Yeah, it's scary.
It puts you at the center of the universe.
It must be crazy
Even
as a
if you're-
public
no matter
figure like
what
that,
level you're
doing
at.
it.
You could be a small level, dude. But if every day you're engaging with people who love or hate you, and I don't have much hate. I have a lot of love, but that makes hate stick out so much more. You know, it's like I can see like 1,000 positive comments, and then if I see one negative comment, like those words are like etched into my brain like the whole next 2 days.
So true.
I just can't turn it off. I'm like, damn, did I fuck up this interview? Like, am I falling off?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I had to stop, dude.
It's amazing how that can overwhelm it, how that can overwhelm whatever all the proof that we would think we have built into our system of
Yeah.
because of our own like lives, you know? Mm-hmm. It's
I need
amazing.
to grab a
man.
drink. I'll be right
You know,
back.
if you have a high balance on your credit card, it can really be devilish. It can be that thing every month you're throwing money away, throwing it down to the dogs, to the debt dogs. Well, that can change. A credit card consolidation from Lightstream can help you pay off your credit cards and lock in a low fixed interest rate. That's right. Rates start at 6.99% APR with auto pay and excellent credit. You can get a loan from $5,000 to $100,000. That's a real amount. And there are absolutely no fees. You can even get your money as soon as the day that you apply. Just for my listeners, apply now to get a special interest rate discount and save even more. The only way to get this discount is to go to lightstream.com/THEO. That's Lightstream, LIGHTSTREAM.com/Theo.
Get out of here with this
Subject to credit approval, rates
got some juicy
range
juice.
from 6.99% APR to first date SCAR.
Hella
got
people
some.
don't like Jews.
Oh yeah, Kanye was talking
pears.
about that.
Oh my god.
Do you think that many people don't like Jew? I think it's because what did Kanye? They were getting on Kanye.
I mean, he's been saying some horrible shit.
Yeah.
You know, that Kanye shit is sad.
But do you think people should just be able? But should he be shut down from saying stuff, or he can just say? I guess people can just say whatever they want.
If he says, I'm about to go DEFCON 3 on the Jews, and he's telling his audience that, like,
Yeah.
Hollywood
I
and
didn't know
music
all
is
this.
totally controlled by Jews. Like, it is true that there is, like, highly influential Jewish people in Hollywood, but it's controlled by money people, bro, capitalists of all shapes and sizes, and they're not
Yeah.
loyal to each other. But, you know,
do you
like,
think that that money people aren't loyal to each other?
I mean, in a sense of collaboration, but shit, they're all trying to race to the top. That's how it's working. And the idea that there's some sort of cohesion there, it's
Yeah.
not really true. I mean, like, there is collaboration, but like, what Kanye is talking about is being exploited by, you know, predatory record companies and shit like that, and labels. That's a real thing. The media and invading his life. You know, TMZ showing up to his house at 3 o'clock in the morning and asking him about his mental health. Like, every element of his private life being publicized by media outlets. That's a real thing.
Right.
And so it's like he's so close to talking about that, but then there's obviously someone in his ear being like, it's all about the Jews. And he's like, and then my Jewish personal trainer. It's sad. A lot of people don't even know that they're being anti-Semitic And I also think the phrase anti-Semitic gets so overused.
Yeah, people say it's tough because you can't even. Sometimes it feels like you can't even say the word Jew or Jewish, and you're suddenly like this person's anti-Semitic. It's like, well, you could say black or white or Christian or Muslims or Slims. Some people call them.
Yeah,
Pairs are good.
But
I'm just saying conspiracy thought. The idea that like every anomaly and everything that goes a little bit weird is not a result of human error. It's a calculated deep state plot. Every sort of loophole, there's loopholes in everyone's reporting, and everything goes wrong. People think the CIA is doing all this crazy shit. They tried to kill Castro in Cuba like 45 times. The CIA can't pull off anything correctly. Our government can't do anything right.
yeah,
Yet somehow people think they're capable of these massive like mind control conspiracies. I was like, then why do the roads look like that? Yeah. I just don't get how people think that this all-powerful deep state can manipulate and control the entire planet.
yeah, that's true. If you can't even get me from like St. George to El Paso, then how are you going to get me from like the aliens to to the Octagon?
Right. People are bad at secrets too, man.
Yeah, people are bad at secrets. That's a good point. I always think that a lot about secrets.
Awesome.
Like, why, if somebody knew something on their deathbed, why are they going to hold on to it, especially anymore? I could see 50 years ago when there was this more like loyalism to America, to like we are this thing, like people I felt like had bought into like we are this text, this thread, this woven blanket. But now it seems like we are the like that's disappearing.
Yeah. Like if they told Trump about the aliens,
He would tell in a half hour.
he would fucking tell us. Yeah. He'd be like, I will not be, a puppet of the CIA.
Yeah.
There's a spacecraft below the White House. It's been there for 30 years. It's not what he sounds like,
Right.
but that's how he would say it.
Yeah. It is, yeah, totally true. And that's why I don't think they could get all these pilots and people that have died over the years. That I don't think they could get any of those people to keep a secret anymore. Do you think?
No.
Somebody would make a TikTok in a half hour before they're dead.
Like my dad just told me this.
Yeah.
It would be the kids of these Area 51 people
Yeah.
who are like, so my dad just dropped the bomb on me, like all that shit. Area 51 is so sick, dude.
Yeah, have you been over there?
I tried to go. I went to the raid of Area 51 in 2019. One of my first
I think I remember that.
things.
And it was a letdown, huh?
The only guy who got arrested was this like recently divorced father of three who was in he was sleeping in the back of his Subaru next to our RV, and he was like, "They're fucking in there," and I'm going, and he tried to storm it by himself, and he got like machine guns in his face. Yeah.
Dang. Did you get the feeling when you were there that they're holding something?
No, I think they're just experimenting with drones. Why would it be Area 51? Like, there's merch along the whole highway saying this aliens there.
Yeah.
They would have moved them by now to a different black box site.
Do you feel like we've had a lot of encounters, or
Oh,
do you
yeah.
feel like we've had few?
A lot, dude. Totally.
Do you feel like that there are alien figures amongst us, that they have that kind of technology to put people amongst us that are actually beings from other planets or worlds?
Yeah, I mean, like, you ever looked into like the eyes of like a Nordic dude? Like a 6'7", like a Viking-looking person, cold blue
Maybe
eyes.
6'4", maybe.
That's evidence right there.
Yeah, I got to look deeper next time. I guess I didn't look that deep.
The
But
joke there is pretty much all alien conspiracy theorists, such as Bob Brown in Nevada, think that people from Norway are aliens,
oh, really?
or that they possess some sort of reptilian or old school Lumerian DNA,
Wow.
which gives them that sort of look,
That iridescent.
and also the architectural capability.
That was
IKEA.
so swift.
Yeah, you want to follow the directions or whatever.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Damn. Well, I think sometimes that aliens come here, I think we are like, aliens advanced far past us, right? Like, even if you see us now, we're becoming like meeker figures. We only use our brains. When you see an alien, it's like just the brain looks active. The body just looks like this dormant, sort of like non-genital, no tits even anymore.
Never.
Just like the body seems very like you don't notice it. It's just that kind of like diamond oval head with the big eyes. So there's a lot of brain activity, thinking.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like. So aliens, they've moved off here a long time ago. I think they come by every now and then to see like the planet. Like it's almost like if your parents took you like some shitty water park, it's like a poor alien families, no offense.
Yeah.
But if an alien family's real poor, then they'll like, or they didn't get tickets to like the cool planet to go see.
Yeah.
Then they stop there. The kids like, what the
3-0.
fuck? We're over here.
Yeah, like this place is weird as shit.
Yeah, this place sucks.
They're here to see the Capitol riot, like Will Smith punching Chris Rock.
Yeah,
These people are fucking morons. Let's get up out of here.
Yes, that's what I think happens all the time. Some shitty dad tries to bring his kids here and his wife here to save their fucking family or to do, and he didn't plan ahead. And the kids like to get the fuck out of here.
They land at Talladega race weekend. They're like, what the fuck? No, but I would think the aliens would actually be on a smaller level, like on microbial small level, so they can, kind of look at us like they could be like cell sized, condensed, because they don't want to be identified. Everyone assumes they're these like gargantuan Cthulhu looking District 9 creatures who are gonna come down and like scare the shit out of us. But why they always look like shrimp in the movies, like giant lobsters.
Yeah.
I think they'd really be like floating through the air like little dust particles, being like, hey. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, that's more of a vibe too. And a dust particle, when you watch them, how they move like alien vessels a lot of times.
They move with purpose.
Yeah. That purposeful dust, homie.
For real.
Damn, that's almost what we are as humans.
Uh-huh.
We think we're purposeful dust.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
When you go into some places, do you have a lot of fear? Obviously, I understand now from like your growing up and stuff like that, and some of your energy, like I remember from my dad would do like credit card signups at colleges and stuff when I was a kid, and so we'd roll over there and like we'd get all this shit out, and like he's 78 years old, he's signing people up, and I would get up on the table and bark at college kids going by to get them to come and sign up, and they get like a free hat or something.
That's fun.
That says like Chase Bank, something just like
sick ass
or
hat.
Frisbee. Yeah, now it would be cool. Back then it was horrible,
for sure.
but now it would be a fire hat, and so I could see where you being in your environments growing up and like having like interaction with people, where it makes you fit into your world now real comfortably. Are there places you've got in that have made you kind of fearful or scared? Like
honestly, not really, because like with the camera rolling, people aren't really gonna test you. I think that like the most nervous I've ever been was like I was trying to do SEC games for a while, so like I was at the Auburn Roll Tide game in Tuscaloosa. So home game for Alabama. Alabama lost the home game, and so like people were fighting in the streets. Like you know how it goes.
oh yeah,
College football in the South is a real serious thing. I'm watching 50, 60-year-old dudes who, were in frats 40 years ago rumble out old beefs in front of the Waffle House in Tuscaloosa. I'm like, man, this is tough. And when people were fighting right in front of you, my first thought is I want to interview them while they're fighting.
right.
So I wanted to be like, hey, what's going on? How'd this start? And then they would, you know what I mean? So, we had a couple situations in Tuscaloosa where people would try to take our cameras and be like, who the fuck are you guys? And we're like, YouTubers, like, get the fuck out of our party. Also, they're very comfortable with violence at Southern schools.
Yeah.
There's not really consequences for, like, big brawls at schools in the South, just in fraternity environments, like there would be on a regular street anywhere else.
Yeah, I think Southern culture, it's more like, especially in the South, you're looking at more like fight outside of the bar.
Yeah, it's like Australians.
Yeah,
It's just like, they settle the score after.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of
pulling
baked
up.
bean Australians kind of.
Literally. And
Yeah.
no one's called the cops, really, and they kind of let things happen.
Right.
So, like, that's the only place. Frats is probably the worst place for me to film.
Dude, it's funny when I remember growing up. Yeah, frats is a weird energy because it's also like, but then if they like you and they know who you are, then it is the energy can be different. Unless you test that one dude who doesn't know.
Yeah.
That sometimes can be weird.
This was like when we were pretty like lesser known. So it was a lot scarier.
Yeah.
Probably now if I were to like message some frat in advance and being like, I'm coming back to Ole Miss.
They'd be stoked.
They'd be like, oh, we're going to show you the best party ever.
Yeah.
54
What about,
more
I saw you
kills
that you
on
went into
that.
O Block, you went into like Chicago, and they have like a lot of like, is that one of the areas where they have a lot of crime, where they've had a lot of violence?
Yeah.
Wow.
I wasn't scared there or anything because like, they just took good care of us. Also, nobody wants to be perceived that way in media. So they're going to go above and beyond to make sure that everyone knows that, like, when I got to O Block, everyone knew that I was coming. And they were just like, hey, good to meet you. We checked your stuff
potatoes
out.
with cheese.
Welcome.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, there you go right there, dude. That's fire.
Yeah, I would say...
Good interview. We
what
watched
they
that
say,
on stream.
The Hood or whatever is probably the least scary place to film.
Wow.
You know, because your intention is clear. You know, you're a white guy with a camera crew. It's like everyone knows what that is. Nothing is going to happen to you.
That's a good point. That's
Where there's
interesting.
more commonality, there's more potential for violence as a journalist. You know what I mean? It's the classic thing of like Louis Theroux from England.
Yeah.
When he did his Weird Weekend series. Him being British as an outsider, I think gave him a pass to kind of come in and be more confrontational. Whereas like I'm more likely to be in a violent situation with someone who is as similar, looks like me, and is in a similar age range to me. Because they kind of feel like, oh, it's more like buddy, like broed out. I even see it with fans. Like if any frat age white fan will come up and just bear hug the shit out of me. You know, there's just less of a barrier. Whereas like anyone older or younger will be a little bit more cautious or in a different socioeconomic place.
That's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting how some fans interact or some supporters of you will interact.
Yeah.
Like the other day at the airport, a guy was just yelling at me, like, Dio.
Yeah.
But it was like we knew each other, but we didn't know each other.
Yeah.
But it was like, and he kept looking at me like I should have acted a certain way, but I didn't really know how to, like.
Yeah.
It's interesting how different people's perceptions of running across somebody that they've seen before.
Yeah, I think for you too, because you podcast, like people, it's more parasocial because they
Yeah,
feel like they've
very
spent so much
personal.
time with
Oh, yeah.
because they get off work, they're driving home or whatever.
I feel like
they're
a BFF with
listening
some
to
of
you,
these
like you're
podcast
pretty much there in
guys,
the
so-
car with them. They're laughing along with you.
Yeah.
Or they're laughing along with us, like right now. You know?
Yeah, if somebody says, I listen to the podcast, I immediately go into a different place with them as well.
As opposed to someone saying, I saw your stand-up special.
Or somebody just saying, hey, man, I saw you on TikTok or I saw you on this or
Yeah.
that. Because TikTok, you know, people have cut up, I think we're almost at like 1 billion interact views on TikTok, right? For just my name hashtag. Right?
Oh, cool.
So kind of cool, but also like I didn't create probably most of those 90% of that.
Yeah.
Other people made stuff and put it out there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. So it's like you get put out there in a way you don't even want to be maybe put out there.
Yeah.
Like it's still your stuff they're cutting up.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of interesting. It's like they can kind of shape whatever, you know, and then people can see you more maybe than you wanted to be seen. I don't know.
Yeah. And you give people a lot of yourself.
It's interesting.
You have to, though. I feel like the comedian lane's a bit different. And I remember when I first came out to LA, like I went on your podcast and I went on some other comedians' podcasts, and I was like, damn, your guys' job is hard. Shout out to you guys. Like I don't know how you come up with all this shit all the time.
Really?
You just have to have this like verbose gift of gab to just spice up. Because I'm sure, like for example, you probably have told a lot of the same stories.
Yeah.
But you have to come with that sort of original energy. It was like when you asked me about like the hitchhiking story. Like I would have told it like funnier if I hadn't
But
already
you told
said
it
it like
before.
20 times.
Yeah.
But I feel like you guys have to have this almost like a respawning ability that is just like superhuman.
And think about
Yeah,
this
I think
sometimes.
doing it with people helps more.
Yeah.
You
Like
know,
being an
that's why
actor.
even like right when you walked in, I really felt like I
Wow.
lit up on the inside because I was like, oh man, I get to talk with someone today.
Right.
And so it is more, it's nicer sometimes than just talking by myself. You know, I find a lot of people like will send in calls to podcasts. Like there's a lot of guys out there struggling these days. You
Yeah.
know, a lot of people are. We're trying to figure out what, you know, it's a weird time to be human. Do you think that?
Yeah, definitely. What do you mean by that though?
I feel like as we're switching more into like putting more of our feelings and everything and our intentions and everything, we're so reliant on media.
Yeah.
And just human interaction has kind of taken a back seat.
Yeah.
But it's also hasn't. So it's this weird,
You gotta get someone
Like-
at a good time.
this weird
People are busy.
thing because we're almost more interactive than
When
ever.
you get them at a good
Yeah.
time.
But it's not very real. It is, but it's like we're almost transitioning.
I've been getting through to
Yeah.
people lately.
It kind of sucks. That's why I've tapped out from it. I'm trying to
Cool
reverse
experience.
engineer my own life.
People
like
are
I
good
have
than
like
me.
because I had to use Instagram and these platforms. I'm sure you did too, to get to where I am now.
Yeah.
But I've crossed this threshold where it's like I don't need it anymore. You know what I mean? Like you probably barely do either too. I mean, people are gonna watch your podcast and they're gonna watch your specials, regardless of if you have to post stories or whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure it helps, but it's like once you're past that point, I'm not gonna hate on social media or anything, like because that's
Yeah, it's weird. It's
it
part of
got
life.
me to where I'm at, you know. But like, I'm gonna tap out from it, like, because my human interactions have been low, especially in the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's like my real friends. Like, I don't know. I need more real friends.
Mm.
Not just like cool online friends, but like real homies.
Yeah, no, I feel you, man. And it gets
Or-
addictive, though, too. That's another thing about it. Like, I almost wonder, why did they let us have phones? Because they're so addictive. It's like, is
Yeah.
it safe? It's almost like a cigarette. It's like,
Yeah,
at a certain point, will we realize this has ruined us?
totally. And Instagram is low key like kind of pornographic too. You know what I mean?
Like a social,
That
like
shit
a,
makes me want to reach out to some of my
like a
Instagram followers.
adrenaline porn or something.
No, like it literally is.
Oh, yeah, I see them tits on there.
Ask them if they
No,
watch
like a
stream,
lot of my friends,
just
like I look
interact
at their
with them,
feeds,
see what they
and it's
think.
just like
I bet they would
attractive
appreciate
women,
that
attractive
shit.
men, just like constantly, and I'm like, damn, that must be kind of.
Not even advertising.
And that's all your
Just if they
influence.
wanna
Like you're
buy
like going on your
something,
phone
find
and
their
just
way
like
to it.
scrolling through like people you think are like super bomb all the time. Like,
Oh, yeah.
kind of rots your brain a little bit. Like, you know, you're going through your day and you're like, they look amazing. They look amazing. They look amazing. Oh, that's the homie. I'm missing out. I'm missing out. This person looks good. I'm like, dude, that sucks.
Yeah, because the second you go back to your regular world, when you
Yeah.
take that away from your eyes and you look at your regular world doesn't stand a chance.
Right.
Really?
Sure. And it's designed like that.
Right.
You know.
Right, that's the part I think people don't realize, man. We don't realize that there are these shape-shifting goons, Jews, you know what I'm talking about, in the distance who are, you know, but that's we don't realize that a lot of that has been, it's been. I mean,
Yeah.
they have got us down to an algorithm.
And
Jordan
it's-
Peterson talks about that. It's like we can't. The algorithm is so strong. If you want to still own yourself, you have to almost come to. You have to come to your own rescue, man.
Yeah, you do. And there's an algorithm for everything. And people don't realize when they're in it. Like even Jordan Peterson talking about that. He's also got an algorithm.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you watch one Jordan Peterson video, you're gonna see him every day. And the same goes for
Jordan Peterson cookbook. Lobster.
yeah,
Lobster.
Like
lobster.
for an experiment. You know the mob boss Michael Francisi?
Yes.
I watched one Vlad TV interview with Michael Francisi, and I'm like, let me watch 4 of these. Dude, my phone was like a mafia phone for like a week. Every time I go on there, it's like Sammy the Bull describes his first hit. You know what I mean? And it's just like best Sopranos scenes.
poo,
You know,
poo, he
Goodfellas
says.
intro. And I'm watching this shit
Hello,
all day.
Playboy Brody.
You know, I'm
How
like
are
La Cosa
things,
Nostra
bro?
over here on my phone
You've
for a
been a
fucking
busy
week.
guy. I haven't seen you in
And,
a
you know,
stream
I
in a
start
long
talking like
time.
these dudes. You know what I mean?
Welcome.
And I start talking to my homies about the mafia.
Welcome to my
Like,
purple
everyone's like, "Dude, stop
motherfucking
talking
dungeon,
about the
dog.
I'm like, what? You know, I'm like, no, but it's crazy. The
Everything
code
is
of silence is
purple.
crazy, dude. It's like blood in, blood out, you know, but not all Sicilians are bad. You know, and everyone's like, stop saying this shit. Let's talk about something else. And I'm like, I realized, you know, all moments of privacy, which should have been me time to think about my life, I was thinking about La Cosa Nostra.
Wow.
And that's not right.
You've been just
No one
working
should
for
think about
like
the mob
months,
for more than like
dude.
an hour a week.
Oh yeah, I think, and even that seemed like a lot, you know.
Yeah.
Especially if it's not a recipe
Glad you're
coming
here.
really shortly after the thoughts. You
Yeah.
know?
You think the mob is still around?
If they are, first of all, I noticed for a fact they do a lot of just trash hauling is what they do now.
Yeah.
The mob has severely been reduced.
You don't think they're walking into like Stumptown Coffee in Brooklyn, breaking kneecaps, and being like, "Give me 5 cents off this latte."
I think they're like the Comedy Central. Basically, they're like Comedy
Yeah.
Central. Like they just fucking didn't get on social
Yeah,
media.
have
and they
Overwatch
fucking fell
up.
apart.
Ain't even
Yeah,
playing.
they should have.
What are you doing? What's up?
Had like a dope ass like cartel style branding campaign.
Yeah, instead they started like a Jordan Klepper show or something, and it fucking tanked, and they
Yeah.
never got their feet back under them.
Let's bring him back, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but the Mafia, I would love to see them back. I
Yeah.
would love a fucking Italian to just hit me with a bat when I'm going for a jog.
Yo,
You
yeah, dude.
motherfucker. Because here's one thing I realized: if somebody walked up to me and punched me for no reason, right?
Yeah.
But they said, "You know what that's for?" I would find a reason in my head why.
Smoking, he says.
Damn. Okay.
Oh,
I think you could do that to anybody.
What do
look
you
at
think?
this bong. I do some of that smoking stuff too once in a while. That's my grandson's though.
Probably stealing something when I was younger, maybe.
Nah.
Yeah,
You know, bad sex, maybe.
yeah.
Like you had me drive all the way over there for that bad sex.
My grandson's
You know,
bong. I'm just borrowing it.
Yeah.
I'm just
Heavy into stealing
basted.
when you were younger.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I like to have stuff, man. And I'd tell people I'd have their stuff on and tell them I didn't have it, you know?
like retail.
Yeah. And even undergarments, men's undergarments.
Yeah. You've came a long way, man.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I feel,
That was
yeah.
awesome.
At least now I can afford my own stuff.
Been baked
Hayes would
since
probably send
noon.
you a pack.
I like that.
That'd be good.
They're gonna see.
I
this.
like that
Shout
a
out to
lot,
Hayes.
bro.
I want to know about your movie before you go, man. I want to know a little bit more about it.
Yeah.
Couldn't do that software and bio swap without it.
What
yeah,
can we
bro,
look
that sounds
forward
like
to?
a situation.
Obviously, there's some parts of it that are
I'm glad
what?
everything is I'm glad everything's
There's
up and
parts
running
of
that
the
you're in
movie
the
that I'm gonna
stream.
be
It's just
screening
crazy.
at the upcoming tour.
I didn't
Okay.
think it was gonna
That's
work
fine.
for a little bit.
I'm gonna screen like some sick. HBO just finally agreed to let me show some scenes.
Okay.
HBO's been awesome to work with.
Really?
Yeah,
HBO.
dude.
Wow.
Sick. Shout out to Nina at HBO. It's just been fun, dude. Like working with a company that's like keeps it real and
Yeah,
you know,
bro, your
it's
PC
HBO.
looks awesome,
And
bro.
especially you had bad experiences with that before, right?
Hell yeah, dude.
I remember you were in right after I met you through with King and the Sting. That's when you got into the dispute with your own
Yeah.
organization. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a horrible thing.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm happy that it ended in like a cataclysmic fucking gnarly way.
Yeah?
Because I had to go independent. Like I had to start Channel 5.
Right.
Because I had like the fire under my ass being like, you know, you got fucked over. Like respawn, kill it. Like start your own thing. That thing's gonna be bigger. You know, I feel like if I didn't have that dramatic split from the All Gas No Brakes parent company, I probably would have just drifted into like comedic obscurity. Honestly.
Whoops.
What was a moment in there? What was some more of that? Tell me about that. Because other people, this happens.
So
to
I'm
people
gonna
a lot, where
change
people, you know, their
The intro
deal isn't
video
right, or they
on my
don't feel like if
YouTube
they
to
leave something
like
that
a
they're
little
still gonna be
tour
able
of
to
this
survive.
room.
Yeah, there's just very like low regulation in like the
And, like, the
Instagram
stats
and
from
TikTok
what you
management
see.
It's not
I'm
like
gonna add
film
some
and
stuff to the bottom
acting
of my
and shit
Twitch
where you have
page as
guilds
well.
and unions. Like you can get
Some
pimped.
about
you can
me,
get the
about my
blood pimped out of
PC,
you by
the little
someone
room
who
tour,
manages
pictures of the
influencers.
PC
There's
in the
no
room.
rules and regulations. It's like the Wild West.
gonna
There's
be
been
cool.
contracts much worse than mine, but I had what they call a 360 deal.
I don't think I
They
have
talk about it a
anything.
lot in rap music. You
Under
know, it's
my
a full
Twitch.
management contract, so that means I can't acquire any money or get any. If I get a sponsorship deal, it runs through the parent company. Every stream of revenue that is to Andrew Callaghan will have to be processed by the parent company, and they'll give me 20% of that
Yeah.
profit after expenses are recouped. So it's a shitty deal. It was good at first because they gave me $45K a year, bought me an RV. I thought I was in heaven, but there was no show yet.
Right.
As the show got bigger and bigger, you know, I see that we're making like so much on Patreon every month and through merch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want more money than I'm getting right now. I'm getting
Yeah, I
paid.
deserve more.
I'm getting paid literally the salary of a manager at Raising Cane's. And like, shout out to them. And I'm like, you know, like they work hard.
They're not even a sponsor. I love this hat.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
And then like, man,
So that happened. It happens to people, but it ended up making you didn't fold though.
yeah, I mean, so back to it. I mean, the big lesson from that whole shit is like read your contracts and know what real money looks like. You know, because before you start, you know, really
Alright, now we're gonna
succeeding in
play
media,
Overwatch 2.
45K a year seems
Enjoy
like
it,
a
bro.
great deal.
I'm gonna
And
get
then
off here
in the
soon.
world of adults, that's like
Oh,
a
it was
below
trying to do
standard
an hour
salary.
before I
Right.
go to bed.
But you just don't know that because you're young as fuck.
But you were
Like,
21.
I have
I was just
Overwatch.
interning for Seattle
I wanna
Weekly
play
and writing for my
soon.
college newspaper for free. So it's like, anyways, somewhere right before All Gas No Brakes kind of
earlier.
tanked,
I could run stable
we signed
4K
a deal to
Ultra
make a movie with
160
Tim and Eric's
FPS
company.
now.
Absolutely.
That's
And then
very
Jonah Hill's
impressive.
company, Strong Baby,
I
latched
haven't,
onto it, and it became this whole like a lot of chefs in the kitchen
haven't
making this.
Benchmark
The movie is
mine
about
yet.
the
I'm
2020
curious to see
election.
what I'll pull.
And,
It's very impressive, bro.
The events that led up to the Capitol
incredibly
riot
impressive.
and the
wow.
aftermath. So we're making this movie.
Boss
I
shit.
literally remember I'm in the
Astronaut
South
shit.
Philly Walmart in this RV. We're out of propane,
I'm gonna take
so there's
a
no
bong
heat.
rip for every
It's
Warcraft
21
kill.
degrees, and I'm getting these emails from the All Gas No Brakes parent company that are like, "We need you to produce 2
But
pieces of Patreon content.
320.
We're gonna fire you guys."
310 maybe.
And this is while I'm
Oh,
making a
it's like
movie, and I'm
this,
like, I don't have time to do that. I'm freezing. It was horrible, and so I kind of refused. You know, I asked for more money. I said, okay, I'll work a second job now. Just give me more than 20% of the profit share. They're like, nah, we're keeping you at 20%. They fired Nick and Evan just to make a statement after I asked them
Damn.
for more bread.
And those are your associates.
Yeah, still, they're partners and owners of Channel 5.
Right.
And then, like, yeah, dude, it just got so bad. They were just being like, they got this thing in the mail, my LA house. It was like, if you don't make a video for All Gas No Brakes by the end of the month, you're fired.
In the mail. What did they?
Well,
Where did they send it from the past? Did they travel back in time?
I
and write a
know,
fucking
right?
letter?
What's going on?
That's insane.
But looking back on it, I mean, like I said, I'm glad it fell apart. I don't have really negative feelings towards any of those guys.
Yeah.
You know, I was always supposed to be independent.
Yeah.
You know.
You always have been, probably really in your own way.
Yeah, for sure.
You like being. It seems like you like having control over what you put out.
Yeah. In a way, I almost feel bad for
Big
those
unknowns.
guys because they made such a bad business decision.
Right. Well, at first they made a great business because they saw the value in you.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
But then they chose to not do it fairly.
Yeah, because I would have kept working for All Gas No Breaks. Like the show would have been going right now if they would have just been like, Andrew wants more money.
Sure.
Give it to him. But I remember the dude said to me, "We have a bunch of connections in the comedy world. We'll be fine. We're gonna." I try not to have any. I just try to like not be negative about shit, you know, even though it's
It is
easy to be.
fucking DC and
especially when
died.
you, like got kind of burned like that.
Yeah.
But once you start being negative, people start being negative back. I know it's basic, but like even with my O Block video, you know, like I showed 2 other like journalists in that, maybe not in
kills
like
me.
the best light, you know, because I was doing like a sort of expose about like what I saw as like the exploitation of like drill music by like media members who run like an interview cycle based upon like fact checking someone's street credibility
Okay.
for clicks and views. And I talked about how that actually fuels real life violence because it kind of breaks down the inner workings of gang beef to like the general listening public and just makes people like not only fans of the music but fans of like the gang lore behind the music, which, you know what I'm saying? It's
Oh,
like
interesting. No, I know what you're saying. I'm trying to imagine how a channel would do something like that, or how.
basically like drill music is like completely full of like
Right.
dissing people's dead family members, dissing dead enemies. There's a whole gang lore behind every drill scene, whether it be Jacksonville, Philadelphia, Chicago, with specific characters and legends and people like that. But the general YouTube public didn't know about what they were saying until like a second industry of you know, people who I call gang gossip YouTubers ran like a news circuit based upon like breaking shit down. You know, and like that sort of exposed the inner workings of like Chicago's gang conflict to like the just greater civilian public, stoked the flames of it, made it worse.
Is that helpful when they do that, or no?
I think that
It's just clickbait.
I think that at its best, like there's some people who do it really well. Like this one guy, Trap Laura Ross. He does like a really good job at like, you know, breaking down sort of the insanity and like the specifics of certain conflicts that people should know about. You know, because there's people dying about like the
I watched
hundreds
a couple
here,
of
like
his
in
videos.
Jacksonville.
Right.
But I think that when it's a gossip-based click cycle, like you'll never guess what gang this rapper's from. Psh, you know, that to me is whack.
Right.
But what I was saying is, in the O Block video, I interviewed 2 dudes who were in that world, and I just felt like, while I do have my problems with like how they use their platform to a certain degree, it felt bad coming at anyone. I don't
Right.
want to do it again.
Hmm.
You know, like just
Yo, he looked dumb as
putting
fuck
any negativity in the world.
on
Like, I
Adam's
felt
show,
it kind of
and
come
then
back towards me
The way he fucking
when they
did
had
it.
their responses, and then people were, and I was just like, man,
Right.
I don't want to start any beef with any other media members. Like, fuck all that. Like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough to navigate because sometimes people will steal, like, will borrow your shit or do something like that too, and you're like, man,
Yeah.
this is fucked up. It's like, do I want to, you know, like, it's like, do I call this out? Like, there's a
Yeah.
clothing company that like totally copied a shirt that I made, right?
Yeah.
Like a merch, and it was like, do I bring this up, or is that just gonna bring more attention to them? You know,
Yeah.
it's tough to navigate sometimes stuff like that. I know that's a different comparison.
Yeah.
Um,
But it's like once you start calling people out for shit, and then all of a sudden you're susceptible because people, now that you've stooped to that level of like
right.
internet beef, people start realizing it's an opportunity to capitalize on you, and they start internet beefing with you because
Yeah.
they know that you play that game now.
Right.
And I just don't want to do it. I stand behind my coverage of O Block, but it's just like, I don't know.
Is it scary to see, like, you know, you get environments like that where there's a lot of violence, you know, a lot of, like, growing up, like, 2 of my closest black friends from growing up both got killed, right? And by other black guys growing up. There's just a lot of, like, you know, there's a lot of black young men killed. You know, there's a lot of violence in that community.
Yeah.
You see a lot of, like, the rap music and stuff, and, you know, I
wanna go to bed.
I love the music. But is it, I wonder sometimes if I find, like, by listening to this music, am I just
I gotta be up even earlier than usual tomorrow because I gotta go to fucking. Ugh. I have an appointment before work tomorrow. God, I'm never home. I hate working so much. But I'm gonna try and get these streams in after work from now on. I'm trying to do at least an hour every single night. The room looks sick. We got cool games to play. Overwatch 2 is out. Modern Warfare 2 is out. Fucking, we're getting better at Apex. We're gonna play some Apex with Chungo soon. He's got a pretty pretty nice duo partner that he says that they win pretty much every other game. So we're gonna try and do some trios with Trent. And obviously we have more fucking Vorkath to do. I would love to get that pet on stream. That'd be an awesome clip. I think that would go viral. That'd be cool as fuck. Get the Vorkath pet on stream. But regardless, I gotta go to bed because I gotta be up early. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you to my 6 subs. Fucking y'all are a gang, and I appreciate it. Thank you for Brody for tuning in. Your PC looks fucking sick, bud. You've got the EVA everything. God, that PC's sick. I just remembered I wanted to change the settings on my Twitch. I wanted to add some custom stuff to my Twitch and my YouTube channel, so probably gonna do that before I go to bed. But you guys have a good night. Appreciate the love always.